Thank you for joining the Washtenaw County Road Commission's virtual information meeting about the project planned on Hewitt Road in Ypsilanti Township. My name is Tiffany Oliphant, and I'm the Communications Manager here at WCRC. I'll be your meeting host along with our project manager. This morning, I'll go over the meeting instructions before turning it over to staff for a presentation about the project, and then we'll open the meeting up for your question and answers. Joining me today is Nico Robson, Project Manager for the Washtenaw County Road Commission. That's his contact information and his email address there. The meeting audio and video is being recorded and will be posted to the project page on wcroads.org in the next day or two. After the presentation, you'll be asked to virtually raise your hand during the Q&A, and I'll provide instructions at the time of how to do this from either your computer, the Zoom app, or phone. The chat feature for this meeting is turned on, and if you have questions during the presentation, feel free to ask it in the chat. We'll address it during the Q&A period. You can find the chat window at the bottom of your screen. And now I'll turn it over to Nico.
Yeah, thanks, Tiffany. I appreciate the intro. We're here to talk about our project scheduled for next year along Hewitt Road. And as you can see here, the stretch of Hewitt that we're working on is going to be between Packard Road and M17, also known as Washtenaw. This area right now is kind of a mixed use between businesses and then private residences as well. Currently, we have 5 lanes. One of those is a designated turn lane. We have curb along both sides of the road. On the east side of Hewitt, there is a patchwork sidewalk made of concrete and asphalt in different areas. There is currently no sidewalk on the west side of Hewitt Road. So funding for this project comes from a few different sources. It's partially funded by what are known as federal urban funds, which come from the federal infrastructure budget. It's also partially funded by the Michigan Transportation Fund, which is paid for by state fuel taxes and vehicle registration fees. Most of this project is actually funded with earmarked funds from Congresswoman Dingell's office. We estimate this project to cost around $1.8 million. So what will this project include? Well, we have a few tree removals, 7 in total. We plan to improve drainage structures in this area. We plan to add dedicated bike lanes on both sides of Hewitt Road. These were required to receive the earmarked funds from Congresswoman Dingell's office. We plan to resurface the roadway and then to make a continuous sidewalk along the east side of Hewitt Road. So here's an aerial, a concept aerial of what we're talking about. There will be a slight widening of the road to add our bike lanes on either side. In red, highlighted in red there, you see a few trees that need to be removed. Again, there are 7 in total that we will be looking to remove. When we do get to the construction phase of this project, we will allow only local traffic. Through traffic will be stopped and they'll have to follow our official detour. Our detour is very short, so it shouldn't impact people significantly. It's going along Packard to Gulfside and then over to Washtenaw, as you can see here. This detour will avoid the neighborhood that's between Gulfside and Hewitt. So next steps, again, we are in the design phase here. We plan to advertise this project this coming fall sometime. Tree removals will take place between fall and winter of 27. We will host another virtual public meeting around that same time or maybe a little bit later, and that will be with our contractor in mind, and we'll have a better idea of how everything's going to be constructed. And then construction again will begin sometime next year. And that's all I had planned for now. Here's my contact information. Feel free to give me a call, send me an email if you have any questions. I know I've hosted several questions already regarding this project, so I'm happy to answer whenever I can.
Thank you, Nico. Uh, so now I'm going to show you a little of how to get to this project on our website. I'm going to come out of the presentation and show the audience how to do that. So once you're on our website at wcroads.org, uh, you'll see our homepage come up there. You'll go to roadwork and construction. You'll go down to current projects. You'll scroll down. This is an actually interactive map, but this is the 2026 project year. Because this project is in 2027 construction, you'll click over here in 2027 construction. And this map is also interactive. Or you can scroll down to the Hewitt Rd Reconstruction Project. There on the page, you'll find a map of the project limits and some information here on the side, funding sources, a flagging operation, and it also will be closed. Here we'll update all of the information on the latest updates. So you'll find out where the road closure, and we'll obviously have another virtual public meeting. This will be the construction meeting. Here's Nico's information here on the side. Also under helpful links, the detour has already been uploaded. We will also upload this video. Also the slides will go here and any other helpful links for this project. Also, we want to show you in our weekly roadwork schedule. If you're not familiar with our website, we actually upload this every Thursday before the end of day for the next week. So this will go for the following week now, after June 7th. That'll be the 8th. And so you'll see all of the work happening within Washtenaw County. You just click here to start the new. It's by township. So you can look here and see all the work happening, the contact information, what type of work, the dates, closures. If there's a detour, will be there. We have all of the information here on our weekly roadwork schedule under the roadwork and construction. We also have a township page. So if you want to know anything about your township, since this is Ypsilanti Township, we'll go here. We upload everything about what's going on in Ypsilanti Township here, agreements that we've signed, all road work and construction. You see the Martin Whitaker roundabout is happening. So that lets you know what's happening in your township. So now I'm going to come back out of the presentation or out of the website and go back into the presentation. And then we are going to now answer a few questions. I'm going to explain that to you. So if you're viewing this meeting on your computer, first make sure to click the join audio. You can raise your hand by clicking the reactions or participants button at the bottom of your screen and then raise your hand. If you dialed into the meeting from your touch tone phone or from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. Me as the meeting host will unmute the participants with raised hands one at a time. I will announce your username or your last four digits of the phone number when it is your turn to speak. We're happy to answer as many questions as possible. All right. Who has their hand raised? Or if there's any any questions in the chat. I do not have any questions in the chat.
I have one here from Jesse.
Okay.
Jesse asks, one, are there any plans to plant replacement trees for the ones that we plan to remove? No, we do not plan to replace those trees. The second question is, what sort of barriers are planned to protect the bike lanes? Flex posts, bollards, concrete curbs, etc. As to match the bike lanes in the surrounding areas, there won't be any barriers in place for our bike lanes along Hewitt. Yeah, that was the only question that I had, Tiffany. You're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, what I'm saying is, do we have, I know we don't have the schedule, but do we have an idea of time frame of closure possible, or like construction, I'm saying.
Again, we don't have our time frame locked in just yet. I anticipate it to be in the spring or summer of next year.
Okay, good. Okay. And I can actually go to the detour just to be on the safe side so people can see the detour, um, and what that looks like. Um, that we do know the detour and how we'll get around. And you said something you don't, this is just the suggested detour, our official detour. These are actually public roads. People can feel free to go on roads and how they feel, but this is our detour for safety. This is our suggested detour. Um, well, I don't have any other questions. Is there anything else, Nico, that you would want to share with the public before we can go over this part so they know the steps one more time? We had some late joiners, so if you
Yeah,
can go over
sure.
this part again.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, yeah, our next steps, again, we're still in the design phase currently, but we plan to advertisement through MDOT's bid letting process sometime this fall. And after that, tree removals, those 7 trees that I mentioned, would be removed sometime between um, the end of this year and the beginning of next year, but prior to March 31st of 27. And we would again host a another virtual public meeting once we have our construction or our contractor picked out, or I guess MDOT chooses our contractor. And as mentioned before, we don't have a start date just yet.
Okay, but it's 2027 for everybody, just so they know, in 2027. And then, just so we're clear, you can sign up for our updates. And then this is Nico's information uh, there on the screen. And if you have any questions, maybe you think of some more questions, you can email him at robson@wcroads.org. And you can always feel free to call us. Call him there, 327-6660. Well, thank you and have a wonderful day.